Today I want to talk about quarterbacks, and all that's coming up after the bumper. What's up, kidfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. It's always college football related, sports related. We have a good time. Today, I want to talk about Malachi Nelson, 2023 five-star recruit who has announced his commitment date is July 18th. This would be the kind of player that Riley would really want in the program, and we got crystal balls from two great recruiting insiders in Steve Wiltfong and Greg Biggins pointing toward Oklahoma. But I would not be shocked to find out the likes of Clemson makes a push here, among others. But I'm also really interested to see how his recruiting ramps up come the end of the dead period on June 1. Now, Nelson has also said he was planning on going to make some more visits, like to Clemson in early June, but now that's up in the air. Still, you think that Dabo Swinney and Brandon Streeter would like to make a play here. USC is also, or was, an early leader for Nelson in his recruiting. He still talks to those coaches out there. He would be a great fit with Graham Harrell and Clay Helton. For me, it would be great if he stayed in the Pac-12 or the Big 12 because I get to watch him a lot more, and that would be a lot of fun for me in particular. But it's also just in keeping what Lincoln Riley has done in the past in cultivating those sorts of relationships that lead to five stars picking his place. Now, Malachi Nelson is also the number 4 player in the 2023 class and the number 2 pro-style player and the number 1 player in the state of California, which is not too shabby, coming out of Los Alamitos in Cali. Now, 6'3", $180 means he's slight, but he can build for folks that are interested. I mean, Spencer Rattler's like 6'1", about 200 pounds. Baker is about 6 feet, 6'1". Kyler was obviously about 5'10". So we're not as caught up in what it means for you to have or not have, the kind of physique that was once considered the NFL prototype, like Drew Bledsoe. Drew Brees is the dude that helped break that mold. Anyway, Greg Biggins, and I mentioned him earlier in there because he did this, not me. He says the comp is Justin Fields. And y'all know that I'm a Justin Fields stan. And this was his evaluation. Nelson has all the physical tools you could want in a next-level signal caller at 6'3", 180 pounds. He's an athletic body with plenty of room to grow, pack on good weight. He's very fluid in everything that he does. He has a smooth, effortless release, and the ball jumps out of his hand. He has a downfield arm, is accurate to all 3 levels of the field, and can throw with touch and change speeds. He's a mature quarterback and already shows a high football IQ in terms of his decision-making and how well he processes the position. He's a plus athlete for a quarterback as well and shows the ability to extend plays and get out and pick up yards in the running game. He made a big jump this offseason and needs to show he can put it together with the pads on as a sophomore, but no quarterback in the class has a higher ceiling right now than Nelson. 2019 accounted for almost 1,000 yards of total offense, and he was a true freshman. Picked up an offer from Notre Dame on May 5th. Picked up an offer from Ampersand U, Texas A&M, for the uninitiated, on March 24th. And his first offer from Oklahoma, or the offer from Oklahoma, came in January 18th. In between there, January 19th, Arizona, January 21, Utah. Now, I think that he's going to have a big year this year as he's going to be an upperclassman, or not upperclassman, as he's going to be a sophomore going into what is going to be a really interesting period for him as his recruiting is going to amp up. Now, we've seen dudes commit to Oklahoma, secure the spot, and then get something else that they like. Brock Vandegrift went to elite camp a couple years ago, commits to Oklahoma days after the camp, later after right after national championship game, really. Reopened his recruitment and committed to Georgia. He's on the roster at Georgia right now. It feels like JT Daniels is the guy, but Vandegrift would be in a good position to be that guy in the next year, along with guys like Carson Beck. For Nelson, I think his decisions is going to send shockwaves throughout college football and his recruiting, the same way that Bryce Young, who was down to, at the time, Oklahoma and USC, picked USC, reopened his recruitment, commits to Alabama, and now is penciled in as the starter at Alabama. This is the kind of athlete that he is, that Malachi Nelson is. So you could use the Justin Fields comp and get a lot out of that, but you should just take a look at the California quarterbacks that have come out of late, right? JT Daniels out of Mater Dei is starting at Georgia. DJ Uiagalelei out of St. John Bosco is starting at Clemson. Bryce Young out of Mater Dei is starting at Alabama. And those are dudes off the top of my head, to say nothing of Ian Book, who just got drafted and had been the starter at Notre Dame for the better part of 3 years and had really pushed Brandon Wimbush out of his job. And that dude wasn't even that highly regarded or recruited at the time. Miller Moss coming out of Cali, and you got dudes from all over in that Pac-12 region that I think can play. State of Arizona is also putting out some products like Ty Thompson, and I think Keaton Slovis as well. But that is the kind of quarterback that Malachi Nelson is, and that's the kind of quarterback that Oklahoma has come to expect Lincoln Riley recruit. He has not missed on a quarterback yet. And this is with Chandler Morris transferring to Texas Christian, Tanner Mordecai transferring to SMU, okay? Micah Bowens transferring in from Penn State to fill up one of those spots. Also in here, yes, Lincoln Riley admitted today Seth McGowan and Trajan Bridges are no longer on the team. They have their own legal issues that they're dealing with. I wish them well. I hate this for both of them. I hate this for the program. I also look at it and say Oklahoma on its depth chart, it's fine. Like, I did the depth chart review post-spring practice thing today, and I'm looking at that wide receiver depth chart, and it's stacked. I'm looking at that running back depth chart, and it's stacked. Would you like a couple more? Sure. You can never have enough running backs, quite honestly. I mean, dudes get injured all the time, but you return Kennedy Brooks after a year of not having him, and you have Marcus Major coming into what I think is going to be a magic year for him, and on it goes, right? You're going to be okay. Mikey Henderson is also a great dude to have over there. And then on the defense side of the ball, you return dudes like Caleb Kelly, along with many others that I highlighted, like Isaiah Thomas and Perrion Winfrey. Those dudes are going to be dudes. You get Jalen Redmond back, a lot of depth at that position. Hate it for Bridges, hate it for McGowan. Hope it works out for them. Lincoln Riley did what he had to do. That's that. Also, Monday, on the number one ranked show, we talked with Bob Stoops for the better part of an hour about why he chose to take on the challenge of being the dude on Big Noon Kickoff, along with Rob, Brady, Reggie, and your mans. Like, I wonder what Matt's going to say to Bob. I wonder what they're all going to say to Bob. I'm very interested to see what this goes. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to see what Bob is like as an analyst, because that could be very fun. And he was a lot of fun on the show with me. Talked about his background coming up in Youngstown. Talked about watching his kids play in high school and really watch Drake come into his own at Oklahoma. He also gives us an update on Isaac, for those of y'all that are really into the weeds. But this is the third child of 6 in a 3-bedroom house run by Ron and Dee. And it's, yeah, his book, No Excuses, is awesome. You should read it if you're an Oklahoma fan for sure. But if you're a college football fan, absolutely. All right, that's it for me. Deuces.